Okay. All right, so today we're going to cover domain and range, which I know y'all love, right? Domain and range.
Okay.
And we're going to do it in a different way. We're going to do it using interval notation. So on your paper right now, I want you to title it interval notation. And whenever you turn in papers, I need you to write your first and last name, because I have a lot of students with the same name. First and last name and date and your AB class period. Anything you turn in is going to be AB class period. No, don't worry about the C, okay? So AB class period, and then the title is interval notation. Okay. Now with interval notation, we are going to be using brackets and parentheses. Okay, you have used before the less than, greater than. We are going to use that still, but this is going to be a new way to do it. Okay, so now I want you to think of the bracket like a wall. If you have a wall, you are going to approach it, you're going to touch it, but you're not going to go through the wall. So I need everybody to be focused over here, not on your computer or on your paper. I need you to focus over here. Okay, so the bracket is like a wall. So if the graph hits the wall, it's touching it and it stops. Think of the parentheses as a weak wall. It just keeps on going. It's going to go through it. All right? Now let's do this first one. This is number 1, but I want you to focus over here. When you're doing domain and range, you're looking at the ends of the graph. Now, domain goes from where to where?
Point A to point B.
Okay. Does it go from left to right, or does it go from right to left? Left to right. It goes from negative to positive. Same thing with the range, from negative to positive. So now we're going to look at the domain for this graph right here. When I have an arrow at the end, what is that telling me about the graph? It's going to keep going, okay? And when something keeps on going and it never stops, what is that called in math? Infinity, okay. So let's look at domain. So I'm looking at the graph and I'm looking to see what's the farthest to the left that this graph will go. It has an arrow, so that means it's going to keep going this way. It's going down, but it's also going left. And it's approaching what? Negative infinity. Okay, negative infinity. Can you touch infinity?
No.
No. So what do you think I'm going to use? The bracket or the parentheses?
Parentheses.
Okay, so it's going to be parentheses, negative infinity. And then what's the farthest to the right? Well, right here is where it stopped, and it's a closed circle. Okay? Closed circle, so that means it's stopping and it's touching it. Okay, so what is farthest to the right that the graph will go? 5, and do you think I'm going to use bracket or parentheses? Bracket. Because it's closed, it's touching it. Okay? Range goes from negative to positive, just the same as domain, negative to positive. Okay? So, Grace, are you on the computer? Just don't worry about the computer. Yeah, focus over here, please. Okay, range. What is the lowest that this is going to go?
Infinity.
Negative infinity. Okay? Brackets or parentheses?
Bracket.
Parentheses, you can never touch infinity. Okay, so it's parentheses, negative infinity. What's the highest it's going to go?
2.
It's going to go to 2, and does it touch it? Yes, so what am I going to use? Bracket. Okay, and that's interval notation. Okay, let's try number 2. So go ahead and write D for the domain and R for the range. We're looking at the ends. Domain goes from where to where?
Left to right.
Left to right, negative to positive. Okay. What's the farthest to the left? -5. Does it touch it? No. So what am I going to use? Parentheses, -5, comma. And what's the farthest to the right? Okay, remember we're looking at the x-axis. So the farthest to the right is going to be -2. And it's open. So what do I use? Parentheses. So -2, parentheses. Okay, range. From where to where?
Left to
Negative to positive, bottom to top. Okay, what's the lowest? Parentheses or brackets? Parentheses, -4 to what? 4 parentheses. All right. I want you to try number 3 by yourselves. If you haven't opened Google Classroom, don't. It's okay. I want you. You can look at it up here. Let me just erase this stuff. This is number 3. I want you to try it by yourselves. Okay. I'm going to write the answer, and I want you to check to see if you did it correctly.
So for the regular infinity, we don't have to put like a positive.
No, it's already implied. You can, it doesn't hurt. Okay, like if +5, you don't have to write the positive in front. Okay? All right. Questions? Go to number 9. If you don't have it open, it's okay. Go on. Some of these graphs are kind of like confusing. So I added some extra stuff and I put like it touches, or if it's like this, I'm telling you where it's going to go. So like this right here, it's going to continue to stay on there, on 2. This one right here, it's going to go on 3. Okay, so domain and range. Domain goes from where? To where? Left to right. So what's the farthest to the left? Negative infinity. Farthest to the right? Positive infinity. Does it ever touch it? So what do I use? Parentheses. So negative infinity to positive infinity. Okay. Range goes from where to where?
Right, left.
Bottom to top. Negative to positive, negative to positive. Okay. So this one right here, it's going to go down to -3, and it's going to stay on -3. So do you think it touches it? Yes, it does. Okay, it does. So what am I going to use? Bracket, -3, comma, 2, bracket. Okay? All right. So I need you to, we have 4 pages, and a lot of students finished within the period. If you don't finish, you're going to have to finish it for homework. I did post the answers on Google Classroom as well. I don't want you to cheat yourself, please. Next week, you're going to have warm-ups, and I'm going to give you just one problem. One problem, and it's going to be a 0 or 50 or 100. Okay? That's a daily assignment. So I want you to practice doing this. And they won't be confusing. Like I'll you know, if it's like this, I'll tell you, you know, it's going straight or whatever. So go ahead and work on that the way I did it. Like you could just use one page. And I did page 1, and then I did all the problems there, like that. And then page 2 here. and then you can write in the back. And then page 3, page 4. Okay? You're not turning it in. You're going to turn it in Monday, Tuesday. AB day. Okay? Questions? All right. You can listen to music as long as you're working. If I see you texting, if I see you watching videos or anything like that, then we won't do it anymore. Okay. Cut!